What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Love Unscripted podcast. I'm your host, Joseph Wilson, and this is the podcast where we have unscripted conversations with millennials about relationships and dating. And if you are on YouTube or you're watching the video version of this, you will notice that something is different. We actually have video. So we thank everybody for being patient with us. We wanted season 6 to be something really special, something different, and we wanted it to be a breath of fresh air. So as you can see, we got a logo. Oh, see, logo right there. We got banner stuff up here. Like, we just got all types of new stuff. We even got a little thing right here. It says Love Unscripted. So we are really just excited about these new changes. You're going to get to see our faces as we're talking. You're going to get to see our facial expressions when we do the love it or shove it. As you can tell, I'm really excited. So I'm just happy that you guys were able to get back, find the podcast again. And we just have a lot of things that we're going to be doing. So before we even get started, if you've been following the journey, we have added some new people to the podcast. We've added some people to the Love Unscripted brand. And one of them is actually going to be participating weekly on the podcast with us. So let me go ahead and get him in here.
Yo, what's going on?
All right. So everybody, if you can see we got Mr. Dexter Tucker in the building. How you doing, Dexter?
I'm good, bro. How you doing? What's going on?
Man, I'm good. So how has your week been so far?
It's been a good week, man. It's been a good week. Been working, going to school, just trying to balance it all, Been a good week. How about you?
I'm going good. I'm doing good. I literally am trying to figure out this whole audio visual kind of thing. So I'm kind of like just up in the air. But yeah. I'm so excited to have you as part of the brand. So if you're only in podcast land, please go over to the Love Unscripted Instagram page where you can see all the new things that are happening in the Love Unscripted brand. We added 2 new members, and Dexter has actually been on our weekly live show on Instagram called Sip Slow. And that's where we just pour our favorite drink. It's the end of the week, and we just have a relaxing time talking about dating and relationships. And these past 2 weeks that we've been doing it has been fire. Like, yes. We've got a lot of engagement. We've got a lot of positive feedback on just discussing the things related to love and relationships. So if you haven't already, go ahead and look at some of those so you can kind of get a feel for who Dexter is. Also, Dexter was one of the guests that we had on our podcast in season 2, where we talked about Is Chivalry Dead? So if you want to just hear a little bit more about his story and his relationship with his wife, you can go back and find that episode. It's called From G's to Gents. And so I'm just really excited. I'm just happy. Listen, as I'm looking at everything here, I'm just excited about this new journey that we're going to take. Absolutely. So let's go ahead and get into the podcast. Yeah. You ready?
Let's get into it.
All right. So as you guys know, I love this segment. This segment is called Love It or Shove It. Yes, it is back. Love It or Shove It is a segment where we share a dating scenario or a dating challenge, and you guys have to let us know whether you love it, which means you agree, or shove it, which means you disagree. So are you ready for this one? Season 6 is on its way. All right, so let's say that a young man, he's taking a young lady out on a dinner date. Mm-hmm. So they're going to I'm gonna not say crazy expensive, but it's semi-expensive. It's like a good. It shows that you care. Yeah. It shows that you care. It's not McDonald's, it's not Taco Bell, and it's not Applebee's. So it's like a step up from that.
Okay.
So as they're going, and we've all been there, we have a overly eager waiter who asks, would you like something? And then gives you all these upgrade options. So as he's listening, the waiter says, okay, with your fries that you would you like extra bacon? She says, yes. Cool. He said, okay, she orders a nice steak with some veggies. And he's like, well, would you like to upgrade that your vegetables to some type of rustic spring vegetables? She says yes, another upgrade. Okay. And also he said, hey, we have multiple drink specials, but we have for you two, you guys need the prime bottle of wine. And so he asked her, would you like the wine? The waiter's going in at this point. And she says, yes, yes, yes. All the while, the young man is kind of feeling a little like, slow down, bro. You running up the tab. Like, it's not that I don't want to be there, but he kind of is starting to feel a certain way. So they have a meal. They enjoyed themselves. But when it comes time for dessert, he abruptly says, we will pass on dessert and we will forego that, even though the young lady was looking like she may have wanted to try some molten lava cake. So, Dexter, do you love or shove the fact that the young man put a halt to dessert in order to save his wallet?
I'm gonna have to say shove it.
Okay, explain.
Because my thing is, if you are going on a date and you pick the place, or there's a place that she prefers and whatnot,
right?
You have to. I mean, you know your pockets more than anybody else. So if you're gonna go on a date, make sure your pockets are good. Make sure the financials are straight. Make sure you budget in. Okay, she may want to get this, 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 and this. Take a look at the menu. Take a look at what she might want, because by this time you should probably know what her tastes are. So I'm gonna shove it, because you should have known something before then. And then, like, if he's like offering all these things, you should. But then it'd be like, okay, well, before you do that, well, what's this? And like, ask questions. And like, believe, like, if you're going to be the man in that particular instance, like, set the precedent. Like, look, I'm the one taking her on a date. If you want to talk about the upgrades, you talk about it with me. Then I'll talk about it with her. And then we'll decide this is something that we both want. And then we'll go from there. So I'm going to say shove it, because he should have been a man in the situation, said, hey, this is what we're going to do. And then go from there. So I'm going to shove it on that, because that's on him. That's on him.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm very much when a young man takes a young lady on a date, you have to plan. I think planning for your budget is very appropriate. It shows responsibility. It shows thoughtfulness. And listen, it's self-love, because you don't want to put yourself out there and have to say no at a date. I mean, that's the wrong time to you know what? I know we're here, but we can't do the whole experience. I think that can rub a lot of people the wrong way, and it leaves definitely a bad taste in your mouth. So I would have to shove it. I also I did a dating tips for men series a while back. And one of the things was, don't go to any crazy expensive restaurant that you personally don't like to eat at. It's okay to go somewhere that is, it doesn't have to be low level. It could just be I like little hole in the wall places.
Yeah.
They're usually not the most expensive, but their food is really good. It's food you like. And it's actually a way to kind of bond and show a little bit more of yourself. So don't put yourself in a situation where you feel like you have to start cutting things short, because now that's going to start leaving a bad taste. So you guys, let us know what you think. Go ahead and comment under this video. We can say that now. Go ahead and comment under this video and let us know whether you love or shove the fact that the young man cut the dinner date short in order to have his wallet spared. So let's go ahead and get into our topic for today. And like we said, this whole season is going to be about upgrades, different ways that you can not just upgrade your romantic relationships, but that you can upgrade yourself. And so let's go ahead and start off this way. So about a month or so back, Apple has once again one of their world-renowned, most highly viewed keynotes about a new iPhone that is coming out. Now, most of the viewers of the live stream already had an iPhone themselves. And a lot of them were probably watching the live stream from a perfectly working iPhone. As Tim Cook was laying out the new features and the highlighting the new camera and all the new software that was in these cell phones, people were just gawking and drooling. People were like, here, take my money, even though the rent is due. People were willing to give up their firstborn if it meant that they could get one of these Pacific Blue iPhones. People were going out of their mind in order to get a cell phone that they already had.
Already had.
So And one of the things that I think is so fascinating is how much people want to upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
So before we get too deep into it, what are some things that you personally feel like you're always needing to upgrade?
Ooh, me? For me, it is I'm always looking to upgrade like my clothes because like I'm in this like season in my life where like I'm trying to be more into me. If that make any sense, like I'm trying to figure out what exactly that I like because as you get older, I'm about to approach my Jesus year, in one more year. So it's like, I'm trying to figure out more about who I am as a grown man, like get more into that. So like my style, definitely something I want to upgrade. Another thing I've been trying to upgrade is like my skincare routine. Cause usually with men, we just wash our face with a bar of soap and call it a day, and be done with it. But, starting to realize I can't do that. And then so I'm looking like into like different like skincare companies and seeing what they have to offer for men of color and found some good stuff, and I'm able to see something different in my skin because I want to start that routine now, in my early 30s. By the time I'm like 40, 50, and 60, I still look like I'm 30. So then looking at, changing, upgrading my diet, looking into more plant-based, diets. And then, trying to get more organic meats. Not trying to go all the way vegan because I love my chicken. I'm not gonna not giving that up. But trying to upgrade my diet, upgrade my nutrition so that way I can take better care of myself. So that way, when I'm 40, 50, and 60, like I've already started that regimen, that lifestyle choice of being healthy and being conscious of what I put in my body. So those are things I'm upgrading right now for me, for Dexter.
Okay. So I have two of them, and I think they're at this point completely unnecessary. So one thing that I always am upgrading or getting more of or adding to is my collection of cell phone cases. I don't know what it is. I'm one of those people who has a whole collection of cell phone cases for one phone. Like I literally will be like, okay, today I feel like wearing this, putting this case. Tomorrow I may feel like another one. If I'm going to go outside and run, I need a case that's going to be durable. That's one of those things. Also, I am a sucker for a hoodie. Like hoodies, like I have plenty of hoodies. My wife just pulled out the suitcase today of like the winter stuff, and she literally pulled out like 5 hoodies that I have that I haven't even like touched yet. And I got about 5 in my closet right now. So I don't know why. I'm like, man, I just need another one. Oh, this hoodie has something different than the last one. But you know what's crazy, Dexter? Like so many people are so willing to upgrade to this new iPhone, but are not willing to do the upgrades internally so that they can have a better life.
Yeah.
So what do you think is one of the hindrances? What do you think may be one of the roadblocks to people being willing to just try to upgrade their own personal life?
I think it's more so like people, the thing that's holding them back is them. Because a lot of the times, a lot of it, we're just in our own way, period. Like before I started wanting to upgrade my diet, and my nutrition, like I didn't see anything wrong with me. And I didn't see anything wrong with the way I ate. I didn't see anything wrong with the way that I saw nutrition. I saw food. I didn't see anything wrong with that. I just thought I was cool because I didn't feel bad. And, I think a lot of people, a lot of times when it comes to their own personal lives, the reason they don't upgrade because they don't see anything bad with what they're doing because they're too busy being in their own way, and their perspective of who they are doesn't change because they're not self-aware of themselves. So like if you're so busy being in your own way, of course you're only going to want to upgrade the parts that you think there's no issue with. Oh, I can keep building on this. I can keep doing this because, I'm fine. I'm okay. Nothing's wrong with that. But you don't know what other effects are causing you to be harmful to yourself. So I definitely think that's the biggest thing is people are in their own way. They're not seeing they're not allowing themselves to see their perspective on things, and they're not self-aware because they choose not to be.
Right. And you know what I think one of the biggest challenges and struggles is? It's not easy to upgrade yourself. So think about it. With the cell phones, with the new iPhone, you can literally click a button and they will literally do all the paperwork and they will send you the phone to yourself. Now that like COVID is happening, a lot of people are doing a lot of delivery. You don't even have to go to the store and pick up your upgraded phone. You can get it right at your doorstep. Walk to your mailbox and pick it up. But what I'm seeing is like, it's not that easy to upgrade yourself. It's not, there's no button that we can push that says, okay, hit this and you will not get angry anymore. Like, you will not have anger management issues. There's no button that you can push and say, hey, I'm going to be more responsible in my finances. Or, hey, I am not going to project my feelings on other people. Like, there's no button for that. But when it comes to upgrading, the process seems to be very seamless. And so when we're talking about upgrading, like, just ourselves, what do you think, like, what is needed to be able to switch the mind frame to even see the value in upgrading? Because here's what I definitely see. Apple has made a case of why you should upgrade. So what can we, like, what do you think people can do as far as themselves to find a reason why they should upgrade? Like, what's the benefits?
I think you have to look at your life and see where you're lacking at, and see where you're trying to go. Like, I think what you should do is, like, look at the goals you have, look at the things you're trying to achieve, look at all of that. And then once you figure out what you're trying to do, what you're trying to achieve, figure out how you can get there. Once you figure out the pathway of how to get there, look at what's stopping you from getting there. Because a lot of times we just think that, oh, if I just make the plan, figure out how to do it, that's it. You have to figure out what's stopping you from getting there. Like, what areas in your life are limiting you from achieving the thing that you want to achieve? Like, for example, like, you may be bad with money, and you're like, you know what? I want to get this amount of money by this time. And then you're like, okay, I need to save money. But you don't realize, you know what? I am terrible at saving money. I am horrible. Like, every week I'm spending, like, prime example, I have a few coworkers who've told me, like, you know, I never cook, and I spend at least $300 to maybe $400 a week just ordering out. But they want to save money, and they want to have enough money to, like, do all these extravagant things. But you're not doing what's necessary to get to the goal that you have, because you don't recognize where you're falling short at. So I definitely say, you know, look at the goals you have, realize how you need to get there, and then look at what's holding you back from achieving that goal so you can reach it.
So here's another thing. There's always people who have really broke down, cracked, screen falling off, no home button iPhones. And so many people are saying, I can't afford to upgrade. I cannot make the investment to upgrade. So one of the things that I'm always so, I guess, intrigued about is how many people are willing to walk around with a cell phone that is cutting their fingers, cut their face when they're trying to make a call. Simply because they don't want to make the initial investment. Even though it could make their life better, they could probably stop misreading text. And I think it's just so interesting that so many people are not willing to make the initial investment to upgrade. Because let's look at these iPhones. They are not cheap. They're starting off at a stack. Like, if you want the iPhone 12 Pro, like, it's going to cost you a stack. And I think it's just so important that people realize that it is necessary sometimes to make an upgrade in your life so you can change the quality of your life. And think about it, like, we're talking about relationships. If you're unable to grow, if you're unable to add characteristics and behaviors and habits to your life that you do not currently have, it's going to be very difficult to maintain long-term, successful, healthy relationships, because the person you are, unfortunately, is not able to maintain some of the relationships that we currently have. And that's no knock to you. That's just how you are right now. But the thing is, we all have an opportunity to upgrade. And so here's where I'm going to go with this. In the scheme of, we're talking about upgrading your life. We're talking about upgrading yourself, upgrading in different areas that are going to be able to help you just, for one, love yourself better, and two, be able to be in a loving relationship with other people. So there are some people out there who don't know whether or not they want to upgrade. or don't know what areas they may need to upgrade. What is one way you think someone could be able to identify an area of needed growth?
I think one way you can recognize an area where you need to grow is recognize how you respond to certain situations. So, like for example, like if you're in traffic, right, and you're trying to get somewhere and whatnot, and you're always angry at the fact that you're always in traffic, that you always have somewhere to be, that you always have something to do, but you're never quite able to get there on time. You have to realize, okay, why am I responding to traffic this way? Why am I always angry when I'm in traffic? Why am I always in a situation where I can never get to where I'm trying to go on time? Because a lot of the times the way you react to stuff is more than likely the way that you don't need to react to it. And more than likely is an area where you need to improve. Because if nobody can talk to you about something, you're always flying off the handle, and it's like the smallest, most minute thing, then more than likely that's an area where you need to upgrade your life. That's an area where you need to do better, because a lot of the responses we have to certain things, there are triggers to certain things in our lives, and we need to figure out, okay, why do I respond the way I do to that? How can I get better at the way that I handle that, the way that I see that, the way that I have that particular perspective? Because like even for me, like I realized for me, like I was responding to certain things in my life and even in my marriage where I'm like, why am I responding like that? Like I thought I was cool in that area. I thought I was great, but come to find out I wasn't, and I was lacking in that area. But I had to realize, okay, I had to figure out why am I responding the way I'm responding, and how can I get better at that, and how can I fix it? So I think if you recognize how you respond to things, you'll be able to recognize the areas in your life where you need to upgrade.
Definitely. So here's one thing and I'm gonna just keep it with the iPhone topics. We're on iPhone right now. So one of the worst iPhones ever invented was the iPhone 6. And the reason that everybody was so up in arms was because of this thing called Bendgate. And Bendgate was the fact that these cell phones were able to bend so easily. Like this was the first time they had like a whole different, they moved from the glass backs and went to a more aluminum finish, which is supposed to keep the phone cooler, make your cell phone reception better, and just give it a more premium feeling compared to glass. Yeah. But what happened was, what Apple didn't realize is that so many people keep their phones in their pocket. And more specifically, their back pocket. So as people kept putting their phone in their pocket and sitting down, these phones started to bend. Yep. And all of a sudden, they started getting all these complaints that, hey, my phone is looking like a U. Like, what's going on here? And it completely like blew up. Like there were guys who were making YouTube videos having 10 million views on, okay, watch how easy this is. Just barely. And it was crumbling. And so what Apple was able to do is they were able to see what was a common theme across all of the people who were making complaints about the iPhone. And they found that the aluminum that they were using was not strong enough to withstand a certain amount of pressure. It was good for making calls. It was good for sitting on the table, but it was not good for bending. And so what a lot of us can actually do is we can look across all of our relationships, not just our romantic relationships, because so many people tend to think that all my problems are only going to come out if I'm in a relationship. But if you're able to look at what the common theme is across all of your relationships, you're going to see a pattern. You're going to see a theme, and things are going to start sticking out. But here's the thing. Here's the tough part. You have to be able to be open and honest with yourself that there really are some issues or problems that need to be upgraded. Like you have to be willing to at some point say, yes, I am a terrible listener. Yes, I do not say what I really feel. You have to be brutally honest with yourself if you want to be able to fix a problem, if you want to be able to upgrade that problem. If Apple would have been like, no, all of y'all are wrong. I don't care how many people say our phone is good. Like that phone, like was just going to keep going out there, and you never know what could have happened. Listen, Samsung could end up being the most popular cell phone right now if Apple had chosen to not listen to the critique and criticism of those who use the phone most. I encourage you guys, listen to what your friends, your family, your coworkers are saying. Like, it may come across as sarcasm, but we know a lot of sarcasm is truth. And start kind of like honing in on what are some like crazy areas, or not crazy areas, just what are some common areas that keep showing up that can be able to better just help you get to a better place. Like, look at those things, be honest, be open with them, and try to make some of those adjustments and changes. So we're going to move into the flip the script segment, and the flip the script is where I will give, or normally if we have a guest, they will give a simple tool or strategy as to how they can deal with a certain relationship problem. So this week's flip the script, I'm going to give you a tip on how to start the process of upgrade. And so the first part you have to do is to be open and honest and recognize that you do. I kind of mentioned it before, that you do have areas of growth. I don't like to call them problems. I like to call them growth areas.
Yes.
It just has a much more positive vibe to it. If you're able to acknowledge and be able to see your growth areas for what they are, areas of growth, and also then become solution focused and say, hey, there are things that I can do to get better at this, then the sky is the limit. Your relationship, the quality of your relationships are going to get a whole lot better when you're able to acknowledge it. So if you're willing to do some inner thinking, some inner soul searching, and some inner honesty, then you'll definitely be able to upgrade your life. So that is this week's Flip the Script. I enjoyed this topic. Speaking of upgrades, so Dexter, how about we share some of the topics that we're going to talk about? So I know I haven't even shared most of these with you, so I want to get some of your relationship, some of your response to some of these relationship topics. So we're going to be talking about dealing with your partner's family.
Cool.
So we're going to be talking about dealing with partner's family. Do you care? And I subtitled it, please have an opinion. So, you know, some people are like, no, it's whatever you want. No, it's whatever you want. No. Right. This is going to be a good one. Paying a dowry. Should men still have to earn and work for the woman they love? And for those who don't know what a dowry is, traditionally it's some type of payment or working or some type of labor done in order to receive someone's hand in marriage. We're going to talk about whether or not we should do that. We're going to talk about what does respect actually look like. We got that question on Sip Slow this past week, where someone wanted to know what that looks like. Dating with children, how to upgrade your game in the dating world while you got kids. Like, just because you have kids don't mean the love and the dating got to stop, but you have to upgrade how you're going to do that. Oh, this is what I like. Alone time. How to upgrade your own personal time by yourself, even if you're in a relationship. And we're going to show you how to do that if you're not. So those are just a few. We got 2 major series coming up too. I'm not going to tell you guys yet, but we have some really great topics. I'm super excited for where the podcast is going. I'm glad we're doing this video. I just feel like I have a whole lot more energy now that I can see somebody when we're talking. So please, we thank you guys for listening. Head on over to iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher Podcast. Go comment on this video, rate it, subscribe it, share it with somebody. And we just thank you guys for hanging in there with us. But guess what? Season 6 is here. Dexter, do you have any last words?
No, I mean, everything's been good. The only thing I would add to everything you said was, you just remind me, we were talking about the iPhone 6, reminded me of the Galaxy Note 7 when it was exploding on the airplanes, you know. And just to let you guys know, like, when you're upgrading your life, like, don't be in a situation where you're just ignoring the issue to where you explode at any given situation. And then that way you have to deal with the consequences after the fact. So just be mindful of how, like I said before, how you respond to things, so that way you don't explode, you don't react. So that way you're able to just see the areas in your life where you need to upgrade and move accordingly.
Definitely. And there you guys have it. This is it. This is a wrap. We will see you guys next week in the next one. Take care. Peace.